Alright, cool cats. I am so sorry. I knew that was gonna happen. The power, the stupid power decided to go off, of course, of all times. But like I said, I knew it was gonna happen because every freaking time it starts thundering and we get a storm, it always knocks out power for some odd reason. Stupid thing. So my apologies about that. That's super annoying when that happens. I really need to get one of those backup generator things for power. So, but yeah, my apologies about that. I hate when that happens. But see, I've also noticed that, you know, recently we've been getting more and more crazy powerful thunderstorms because of the heat, you know, because of this crazy weather we keep getting. We get so much humidity, and eventually that humidity just opens up a downpour of like rain and thunder, lightning, and all kinds of crazy stuff. But thank God it's not, you know, it could be worse. Could have tornado, could have hurricane, could have microbursts, could have hail, could have all kinds of stuff. So, hey, as long as there's no damage to anything and it's just a standard old power outage or whatever, hey, I'll take it. That's something that I've learned as years have gone on. But that also proves a very important point for me. The fact that I do have access of portable devices, so in case of power does go out, at least I know I have something to keep me entertained for X amount of time. So, well, I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest. It's not necessarily bad weather. Like, bad weather is when you're dealing with tornadoes and freak, you know, very freak weather, like, you know, ridiculous, like like hailstones to go out like the size of, like, you know, like a shot put or something like that, you know. But again, I would rather take this because, like, the type of bad weather, like, we're just talking bad weather where I live at, you're talking snow. Like snow, ice storms. That's the kind of weather we get, and that's what I consider bad. Because trust me, when you get an ice storm and all the ice collects on the power lines and power lines start snapping and stuff, oh, that's bad. That's real bad. And, oh, jeez. Give me a second, cool cats. The chat is acting stupid again. Come on. But sadly, that's what happens every time. It messes up so much of stuff. It's like, man, this thing is just, it's ridiculous. Alright, give it a second here, cool cats. I hope it didn't do too much like craziness to it, because I'm like, because I use this multi-chat thing, so that way for those who are on Twitch, I can, you know, obviously interact with those on Twitch and stuff like that. So, all right, there we go, we're back. Now, if power goes out again, might have to actually stop for the night, because those are some strong rumbles of thunder going on. So. But again, you know, the craziness with the weather and everything like that, that's just what it is. Yeah, that's the one thing, like, you know, technology is good and all, but we haven't gotten it to where it's perfected yet, you know. That might be like the only thing that really sucks about it. But, it's out of my control. It's out of my hands. Obviously, this is this is Mother Nature we're talking about. So quite clearly, anything that happens that's completely out of my control. Sad to say, but it's the truth because you know, it is what it is. But but as stated, could be worse. It could be worse. But regardless, though, again, I'm just happy that I'm able to continue to keep doing what I'm doing as far as this goes, and also, well, might as well, you know, show off a little bit of the other poses again for you cool cats, because I was like, you know what, I'm happy that I managed to make all this work. So, but again, this is why I was like, okay, you know what, tonight is kind of like just a testing night, just to see, make sure everything is working correctly. You know, obviously the whole thunderstorm thing was not part of the equation, but at least I know even when we had that little bit of a, you know, mess up, it still works. Oh, well, technically I can zoom in, technically. It might look a little blurred, but there you go. I can definitely, I can zoom in, just the avatar might look a little blurred from it, but hopefully at least it looks a little bit more, in your face. A little, not much, but just a little. Because as stated, this is eating up a lot of system resources. You know, I'm rocking a 4070 graphics card and also a 64 gigabyte RAM kit, basically, and yet this thing is struggling to do everything. But I'm just thankful I'm able to do even just this, because, you know, I know, like, I see a lot of other, you know, amazing, incredible VTubers who just have something basic, you know, nothing crazy or anything like that, but it's just a fact. It is just a fact that, you know, I can do this alone, you know. It's like I stated, trying to record, you know, animations and stuff like that off of Second Life, it is a little difficult, you know. It's possible, but you just have to get everything just right, you know. And of course, like, camera angles and stuff like that, even if like you wouldn't believe how many retakes of just the one animation I had to do, because the camera angle was always jacked up. It didn't do what it was. It would the camera angle would be off, and of course when you're posing, if the pose is out of the frame, obviously it's going to look like the hat or the the feet were cut off and all that other stuff. So you just have to be very, very, very careful when you're doing, you know, Second Life poses and stuff like that. But I'm thankful I can use Second Life to create all this crazy stuff with, you know. I'm very thankful for that. And yet again, I'm just happy I'm able to make all this stuff work. And as stated, you know, if I can, I'll try to add like maybe 1 or 2 more animations and stuff like that, you know, because I'm not completely done. I got to do things with the channel point shadow on Twitch. I still got to do some extra stuff or whatever to make everything work correctly, because like I said, I need to do the integrations where you cool cats can, you know, mess with the poses and stuff, as long as you've got channel points, or as stated, if you cool cats, you know, do super chats, you are allowed to request me to, you know, change poses or anything of that nature. And of course, I do need to create goals as well, because I've not created any goals yet, so that's another thing I got to do. So I still got a lot of other, you know, things I've got to do over the next couple of, you know, days, providing I can get things done. But I can't make any promises. But you know what? As long as Golden Summer looks good for now, I will continue to keep doing what I'm doing, you know. But hopefully, as time progresses on, I will be able to get better and better things added, essentially. Yeah, again, there's just a lot more, animations I'd love to do and whatnot. But, for the time being, I'm happy that I have all these incredible, poses and animations and stuff like that I can do for now. So, but I will, if I can, I'll try to add like an exercise routine or something like that in the future. We'll kind of play. I'll play around with stuff, see what works. Yeah, and well, as I stated, kind of crazy. I stated, I wasn't even going to do Golden Summer, but apparently a lot of you cool cats wanted Golden Summer to make a return, so that's what I did. I decided to bring it back. I was a little late, which I do apologize for, but obviously with me losing not losing, but quitting from my toxic job, it kind of put a hinder on certain things that I wanted to do. So. Oh, gotcha. Well, hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you, cool cats. As long as I am still inspiring you all to do any type of, creative work, please do it, because, that's how I got inspired by doing what I'm doing now. Becoming a VTuber, never thought I'd be able to do what I'm doing now. But because I was inspired by, HoloLive and various other VTubers out there doing this sort of thing, I was like, okay, you know what? Well, to be frank, I actually did it because I got tired of being alone all the time. I think that was probably one of the biggest things for me was I just got tired of being alone, so that's why I became a VTuber, because it allowed me to, interact with more people, be able to do cool things, especially with Rock and his amazing crew, allowing me to join in with his crew and doing fighting games. I mean, I never thought I would be, befriending people who love fighting games and we love beating the crap out of each other, but we do it and having fun doing it because we're kind of like on the same level almost. So yeah. So yeah, definitely, it's a blessing. This is a complete and total blessing. It's just I'm so thankful that I'm able to do what I'm doing now. Really and truly, I am. So, and I do appreciate you, cool cats, so much for everything. From the inspirations to being able to have fun and be myself. Being myself is probably the coolest thing about this. I'm not pretending to be anybody. The same person you see on screen would be the same type of person, personality-wise, that you would see in real life. I'm that type of laid-back, chilling, relaxed type of person, and you'd get the same exact way, same exact feeling, same exact personality if you would meet me in real life. So that's how I am, anyways. And yes, I did hear about the shoujo incident, but I am not going to talk about it because that's out of my jurisdiction. I try not to talk about any of the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, in the realm of VTubing, because it always seems like it's a slippery slope and there's a lot of drama, and I do my best to avoid drama as much as possible because I deal with drama on an ongoing, everyday basis with family and various other things. I'm like, I don't need no drama in my life. But I mean, I do feel bad for that situation though, because Iron Mouse did get screwed over very badly, and well, that's what happens, And when you see things like that, you do have to take in consideration, this is what you don't do to run a company, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah, and I do appreciate it, cool cats. I really do. I play video games because I like having fun. For me, I've always said this is therapeutic for me. Being able to be myself. Because back in the day, I would not be the type of person to vocalize, things. Number one, because my mom would get angry at me if I started yelling at the TV and everything like that. Like, okay, Eric, it's time to put the game up. You're getting angry. But I don't get angry to the point where I would ever throw my remote, thank God. I am not that type of violent individual to throw my my controller when I get angry at a video game. I don't get angry, I get even. So I try to improve and get better and stuff like that. And that's why my determinedness has never Like, there are times I have to give up. I'm like, okay, that's it. I can't do this. But I don't ever destroy my things. I'm not like those crazy people who you see on like Twitter and YouTube destroying their stuff because they got that pissed off of the game. I'm like, I'm not that type of person. Like, if I was starting to get angry, I'm like, okay, time to turn it off. Time to do something else. I gotta do something else to get my mind off of this crap. But again, I like playing retro gaming because that's where I grew up. I grew up in the arcade. I grew up playing the original Nintendo. Back when gaming was fun. Not about DLC, not about patches. It was just you put the game in the system and you played it and you had fun, It was more about you against the computer. You and your friends against the computer, not you against another person across the planet getting pissed off at you, yelling and screaming and cussing at you because you're better than they are, or God forbid the kids that scream into the mic, especially when you play GTA. That's why I had to mute freaking mic when I played GTA, because I get tired of all the yelling and the screaming. I'm like, look, why are you kids playing this game anyways? You're too young for this. But that's what bad parenting comes from. Probably also another reason why all the censor stuff is going on, because parents are like, oh, you gotta turn that stuff off, you can't let kids get into it and all that stuff. No, you need to be parents and actually do what you need to do and keep your kids safe. Don't let the internet raise your kids, all right? For God's sakes, do not do it. Because some people will let the internet raise their kids. Don't do it. Do not be stupid parents, for God's sakes. Please do not. But that's just me. That is just me. But I mean, obviously, people get ticked off with you for telling you how to raise their kids and everything like that. But yet still, because you're doing such a horrible job, the government has to step in and screw things up for everybody else. Yeah. I deem that very fair. Not. But that's how it is now, and I'm sure a lot of people are ticked off, a lot of stuff going on, and now more drama, which I can't stand. I can't stand the drama behind everything. I'm like, just let people, because I got news for you, and I really think, if I am wrong, please correct me on this, but when you start taking away things from people, it comes out in other ways, and sometimes those other ways are far more worse than what you see on the internet. Far more worse. And again, if I'm wrong, forgive me. But I truly think that once you start taking away certain things from people, it comes out in other ways, and those other ways, you don't want to think about them because they're just that horrible and gruesome. And I'll leave it at that. But yet again, obviously stuff's out of our hands, but hopefully things will eventually correct themselves. It's just we gotta let it play by ear in this case and such like that. But hey, when people are ticked off, people let their voices be heard one way or the other. And trust me, sometimes certain voices are far more louder than others, even though they not be as loud in terms of volume, but they're loud because they speak truth. Definitely a different thing there. I'll be honest, when it comes to gaming, especially online gaming, unless I'm with friends, I mute everybody's mic. I mute my own mic because I don't have time to get into arguments over stupid, piddly things that don't amount to anything, I'm like, I can't stand, you're the healer, why aren't you healing me? Do your job. I can't, that's not fun. That's not fun at all, Like, I want to play games, and I want to have fun. That's why I play a lot of fighting games, because I don't have to hear about people backseating me to tell me to do this, do that, and the other. I'm like, and doing it with a smart aleck intent. There's a difference when I'm being told something and I'm like, oh, that's actually good advice. Don't be a jerk telling me different things and such like that. Just don't do that. Be cool about it. If you're going to give me advice, be cool about it. Don't be a jerk about it, you know. But of course, this is the new age, you know, everybody's going to be all wild and crazy and doing all kinds of crazy stuff online. People yell, people do all kinds of stuff, and they do not care. As always, they're trying to they got such an ego. They try to make themselves look good while making others look bad. I'm like, that's not cool. You don't do that. You know, if you're gonna build somebody up properly, don't do it and get that ego, because I'm telling you, having an ego and you're playing online, oof, that's not a good thing. Having a damaged ego hurts worse than just being told you're bad. Yeah, trust me, I do that too. I get angry too, but you know what? GTA allows you to do whatever you like to do. So instead of, you know, just because the one thing I don't like about GTA is the fact that every dang video I ever see of GTA, you always get into some kind of sniper shuffle, like sniper battle. It always comes out to sniper battling. I'm like, why don't you guys like with GTA, you can literally do the Solid Snake thing, you know, throw bombs, do things that are different. Just don't start sniping at people. If I wanted to do that, I'd play Call of Duty or something like that. But every single time I ever see any type of GTA gameplay, it always ends in some type of long range shootout with sniping, and I'm like, that's so dang boring. I'm like, let me have fun. Let me use the drone. Let me do something that's unexpected, you know. You know, let me use a vehicle. Let me kill you in a let me unalive you in a way that's entertaining and it's fun. Not trying to shoot you, trying to get headshots over and over and over again for 30 freaking minutes. That's so dang boring. How can people just subject themselves to that kind of literal torture? I would rather have fun playing and being creative if I'm going to do that, you know. It's like I've got all these unique abilities, and in a lot of ways I look at like GTA kind of like Metal Gear Solid. There are ways to handle certain things. Like I've bought like everything, so I can throw out drones, I can throw out remote control cars. There's all kinds of crazy stuff I can do. But then again, I play on PlayStation 5. I don't play on PC because after all the debacle of people being able to dox you on PC, I'm like, nope, I'm not playing that game on PC. I don't need anybody getting that ticked off with me that they're going to start affecting me in the real world. You know, you've got a problem when you start affecting people in the real world when it comes to games. Games should only be limited to, you know, games. You know, once you message somebody outside the game, then you got a problem. You know, that's too much. You're too in depth into the game. You got to get out of that. Like, I let my anger, as they say, you know, when you go to Vegas, you know, you whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens on GTA stays on GTA. You know. So yeah. Yep, the rage quits, all that other crazy stuff. It's just, people need to grow up, dang it. People just need to grow up. And sadly, you know, until people decide, or until they come across that one person who will put them in their place, that's not going to happen. It might happen, but it's a rare case when it does. And yeah, I'll be honest, Cool Cats, I don't talk very often in real life. I really don't. I don't, you know, get to do what I do now because, you know, back in the day, you know, my friends were all still around in this area living with me and stuff like that. Yeah, we used to hang out all the time, but I don't really get to hang out with people the way I used to. So quite literally, this is probably the most I have literally talked since I started, you know, that might be pushing it. I'd probably say this is the most I've talked since the summer started. I'll put it to you that way. So eventually my throat just starts getting dry and stuff like that. Maybe I should get something to drink. But eventually I just talk so much, my throat just gets all you know. And but that's what happens when you don't talk. Like eventually your throat just starts giving out. I'm not going to talk my voice out. It's just the fact that I talk and I'm like, wow, people actually want to listen to me talk, and instead of me giving advice and, you know, being ordered around, you know, people actually want to hear me talk and stuff, and I appreciate that. I really do, because I'm like, you know, I do talk a lot whenever I do get a chance to talk, but then I talk too much, and I think I drive people insane with that, and I try to watch that. That's why I don't interact with people a lot in real life unless we truly are on that same page and stuff. But that's just why I'm glad I am a VTuber. That way I can come online, chat with you cool cats, literally chat about nothing. But as I've stated many times before, this is a show about nothing, but it's an entertaining show about nothing, because I'm just talking about random stuff that, you know, people may not think about. Or at least I'm avoiding all the drama and all the other stupid stuff that's going on in today's society, in today's world, and I avoid that because I get tired of seeing it every freaking day. But again, that's just me. But as stated, you know what? I'm just thankful to know people who really do truly like what I do, and of course, being able to hang out with those who, you know, we just have fun. You know, it's not about who's got more wins over the other person. It's all about having fun, you know. And when you can latch onto others and enjoy that togetherness, it's like, this is what I miss about growing up, back when I was growing up with friends, hanging out at other people's houses and stuff like that. I miss that familiarity of, you know, physically being there with somebody on the same couch, playing a video game together and enjoying that fellowship with one another, you know. I miss that. That's what I truly miss, you know. And I mean, well, yes, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful that we can communicate in so many different ways nowadays. It's just the fact that, you know, I miss having that physical, you know, I'm being there in the same room with a friend and enjoying their company. You know, that's what I miss. I miss that a lot. And obviously that it comes out in another way, which obviously I'm sitting here talking to you cool cats about anything, you know, and I'm thankful that I can do that. And I think, and that's probably one thing a lot of VTubers might have problems with, is just being able to keep conversations on, or keep conversations going and stuff like that. And somehow, I don't know why, don't even know how that's possible, but somehow I managed to do this. But I mean, I grew up, I worked at an arcade, so I got to talk around with people a lot. And I went to start working at, what was it? Old Navy. I don't even know why the heck I worked at Old Navy. Then I went to Walmart, and then that's how I really got smart in terms of like, okay, this is what computers do. This is what you need to do to fix them and all this other stuff. And then being able to talk to customers. So that's where my customer skills came from. And then of course I was in karate. I went to karate for about 15 years, give or take. And then once I was done with karate, then I worked at Radio Shack, and then I worked at GameStop for about 3 years. And then I worked for the government, and then the government screwed me over, and I was like, okay, screw you, government. And then that's when I left. So yeah, that's been my whole entire job thing over the past, what was it, about 26 years. Being in job, just working and stuff like that. But in that time, it allowed me to be more comfortable with people and stuff like that. Now, I will be honest, I still get like those little pangs of being shy and being quiet around people, especially those I don't know. But ultimately, this, you know, I will say being in karate helped greatly, but also doing this has allowed me to be more vocal. You know, it allows me to be able to have conversations about people without feeling like I'm going to totally embarrass myself or I'm not speaking loud enough or anything like that, you know, because they always say, and I think this is actually in a book, they always say people fear public speaking more than death, which is like, and I get it, because listen, I'll be honest, the very first public speaking thing I did was back when I was in elementary school. There was I had won a contest like this. What was it? It was part of that DARE program thing, you know, back when they were doing that drugs DARE program at schools and stuff like that. And apparently my essay was so good, I won this essay, but then they wanted me to read my essay in front of the entire school and adults and people. It was like one of those fine art nights, but it was just for me. You know, me and another person had to read our things basically to the entire student body, school body, teachers, parents I didn't know. You know, that was scary. But once I got past that, it felt okay. I could do anything. You know. Now this was back when I was when I was in 5th grade. This was like I was still in elementary school. I still remember that to this day. I mean, my knees were shaking, my teeth were chattering, but somehow I was like, I cannot believe I'm doing this, but I did it, and thank God I managed to do that. And I was like, okay, well, life is sort of cake by now, so so that helped. I think that helped. That kind of helped push me out of the nest, so to speak. And after that, you know, I just kind of like, I'm just comfortable. I'm comfortable with just, you know, chatting with people. Those who want to listen to me, you know, it's kind of hard to try to, it's like when you're chatting to a brick wall, you know, they're not going to respond back to you. Can't stand that, but I'm thankful that you cool cats do, you know, respond to me and things of that nature. And I do appreciate that so much. Really, I do. One thing that I've been taught is to give thanks where thanks is due. And I have to thank you cool cats for everything. Because again, if it wasn't for you cool cats, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. You know, it's all thanks to you all that give me the inspiration and the gumption to keep doing it. And I know that's an old term, gumption. Who says gumption anymore? But yeah. And that's understandable. You know, everybody has their limits in terms of talking. You know, some people are comfortable with chatting and others aren't and such like that. I'll be honest, I was at one point where I was not comfortable talking with anybody at any time, but apparently God had other ideas for me, I guess. And then here it is, many years later, I'm actually holding 4 or 5 hour conversations with people I don't know well, but know, to actually continue to keep chatting about nothing, essentially. And I enjoy that. I totally enjoy being able to do what I do. So seriously. Yep, and trust me, cool cats, please do not work for this current government, and I'm going to leave it at that, because again, I'm not going to get into government affairs and talking about stuff like that, but if I quit my nice high-paying government job, you know there's a problem. You know there's a dang problem, but again, I'm not going to get into that tonight. Not that I can anyways, because I still have that stupid non-disclosure agreement. Stupid things, but nothing I can do about that. Gumption. I'll be honest, I think I pulled that one from the old Simpsons library. So I think Grandpa Simpson said that, gumption. Yep, and again, I do appreciate it, cool cats. I really do, you know. Again, having the abilities of continuing to keep doing what I'm doing, and of course giving me the you know, inspiration to keep doing it, you know, because I've been doing this. I can't believe I've been doing this for 4 years, over 4 years now, and I'm seeing success where I could be seeing failure, you know. And I know, firstly, I know I have to create more offline content. That's kind of my Achilles heel right now. It's like, I'm great at creating online content during streams, but when it comes to creating offline content, I got to get back into that. And I do partially blame my government job because, you know, it was stress. You know, when you're doing the kind of work I was doing, it was stressful. When you came home, you didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't even feel like doing anything on the weekends, and I was like, you know, and as I stated before, this is therapeutic, because when you're dealing with a bunch of crap and it's out of your control and it's stupid little things, that drives you insane, and you need an outlet. And at the time, karate was my outlet until things happened and I had to leave. I had no other outlet until this appeared, and then thankfully being able to be a VTuber and to be able to talk and get my mind off of things in some ways it helps you get your minds off of things. It allows me to be myself, and I can voice my opinions and be maybe not professional, but being kind about voicing my opinions, and that's what I do appreciate. I do appreciate that, because like I am not like all the other VTubers who are loud and crazy out there and cussing and doing all other stuff. I mean, look, that works for them, but I guess I'm built different, I guess, when it comes to VTubing. I do things that are, I guess, at a different speed or a different nature, I guess, or whatever, and I guess it makes me feel, I guess, different in a good way, not just, I guess you can coin the term unique, I guess. I try not to sound I try not to put that out there because it makes it sound like I've got an ego. I'm like, I don't have an ego. I'm just being myself. That's why I try my best to be as polite and as kind as I can to everybody, because I always tell everybody I'm not that special, I'm not that unique. I'm just somebody who's just trying to make the world laugh and smile and forget problems and stuff like that. And it's nothing super incredible or anything like that. It's just you get tired of seeing the world burn all the dang time, and sometimes you just have to laugh about something. You got to put something out there in the atmosphere where people will latch onto and like, oh, let's have fun. Let's actually laugh about something that actually is funny and not by another person's misfortunes. And that's how I try to do my live streams in this way, where like if anybody's going to laugh at misfortune, you cool cats are going to laugh at my misfortune when I'm playing video games, and that's cool. I'd rather you cool cats laugh at me failing rather than laughing at somebody else who's out there trying their best and failing, and you don't know how they're going to react to it. At least when I get angry, it's kind of like it's kind of like you can tell when I get angry, I get quiet. And that's usually not a good thing. Like, oh, Eric's quiet, he's getting quiet. Or if I get super intense and like I get super focused or I get in the zone, I get really quiet. I'm like, I don't want to scare anybody, but that's just how I'm kind of like that slow burn kind of person. I'm like, why am I a slow burn kind of person? But I don't know. I guess, again, I'm built differently when it comes to live streaming or creating any kind of content, really. I mean, look, let me also be honest with you cool cats, The Second Life content that I create for artwork and stuff, I still don't consider it true artwork. Because I don't pick up a pen. I never did artwork in the traditional sense of picking up a pen and creating bodies and creating characters and stuff like that. No, I literally skipped that process and went directly into 3D model work through Second Life. And I'm like, but I know it's art, but then it doesn't feel like art. It doesn't feel like art in the traditional sense of creating art, you know what I mean? And I guess that's what makes me feel a little bit more awkward sometimes when it comes to creating art. It's like, it's art, but it's not art. But it doesn't feel like real art. It just feels like something, But I'm weird like that, But I do appreciate those who do follow me for the artwork and stuff like that, and do appreciate the artwork I do create, even though I don't still consider it artwork. It's just a creation. But I do appreciate those who follow me and do give me the encouragement to continue to keep doing what I'm doing. I really do appreciate that. And hey, oh, trust me, burnout sucks. Burnout sucks a lot. I've dealt with it more times than I can handle. But sometimes when you do experience burnout, that's when you have to take a step back. That's where you have to kind of like, you have to rekindle things that you miss, you know, or things that made you happy. You're not doing them as much. And that's what I used to have to do all the time when I worked at that dumb government facility. I had to always like find something to laugh at. I had to like do something, because I suffered burnout quite a bit, you know, and thankfully being able to do this helped greatly, but also being able to go and just like, you know, sitting there watching Looney Tunes, cracking up at Looney Tunes. Just today I got Paramount Plus, and I was watching Rugrats and All Grown Up, and I was cracking up at that junk. I was like, man, and the stuff they got away with back in the day, I'm like, man, they actually talked about that for kids. But it was for the adults too. It's like those in jokes for adults who had to sit there and watch a kids show, basically. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate those jokes, you know. So, but yeah, and I'll be honest too, like I don't get a lot of feedback with my artwork. Like I'll get, you know, a comment every now and again and stuff like that, but a lot of times, you know, people just, you know, fave my art or they'll like my art, but I don't get like any actual like true feedback, you know, when I do artwork and stuff like that. Not that I'm telling people to do it, it's just that, you know, I would rather my artwork speak for itself. You know, if it's that good, then, you know, people will go beyond just favoring it and liking it. They'll actually give me like, you know, feedback on it a little bit, an actual like true. Please, for the love of God, do not come and criticize or give constructive criticism. I can't stand constructive criticism, because the reason why I can't stand it is because that means that I am trying to live up to somebody else's standards, and I can't stand living up to another person's standards. So I'm like, you know, if you're gonna tell me you like it, you dislike it, or you do X, Y, and Z, and you're gonna, you know, tell me this is bad because of this and what I would do differently, I can't stand that. So like, to be frank, I would rather people not say anything at all, because as soon as you say something stupid, I'm like, wait a second, why am I trying to live up to somebody else's standard, you know? So that's why I can't stand about constructive criticism. You know, I would rather say, you know, my true opinion about why I like your artwork, not to say, oh, this is what I would change, this is what I would do different, this is what I, you know, that term I would do differently. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to enjoy another person's creative talents and stuff, and not throw whatever they worked hard, and I mean hard on, could take them hours, or could take them 2 minutes, but still, it's work. And I'm like, I'm not going to poo-poo on somebody else's, you know, amazing, incredible talent. Somebody who's obviously way better at it than I am. But I only do what I like doing because I like making my own content, you know. I'll be honest, all the stuff that I created, it's not to create things to make others, you know. That's not priority one. When I make artwork and stuff like that, it's to make myself happy. And I hope that the stuff that I create, making others happy and stuff like that, it actually makes others feel happy, because I'm happy creating what I like creating, not because I'm creating to make others happy. I hope that my happiness coming from whatever I create makes others happy. Now, if you commission me, totally different story. Totally different story. So yeah. I'm like, you have every right to, you know, comment and say X, Y, and Z about something that I've created for you. You know, if it's not right, or if it don't look right, I gotta go back, I gotta change it and try to make it as good within reason, because I can't, you know, redo artwork that I've created, you know, 3 and 4 times to perfection of what you want as the commissioner, you know. So there is a big difference when it comes to things like that. But yeah, but again, I don't like constructive criticism. And do not worry, cool cats, if you do not ever chat on any of my, you know, artworks and stuff like that. I'm not angry about that, you know. I'm not angry about anything of that nature at all, or such like that. And don't feel the need to comment on any of my artwork. Just getting a fave, that's good enough for me, you know. Because I realize I'm kind of like, I'm a little tiny fish in this big gigantic ocean that we call social media, and trying to get my name out there, that's hard. I don't have sponsorships. I don't have anybody, supporting me constantly to creating things and whatnot. Sure, I've got my commissions and stuff like that, but obviously I don't have all the innate tools that, let's say, certain corporations have to sponsor VTubers and stuff like that out there. But ultimately, I'm glad I'm glad I'm independent, so that way I can actually create what I want to create without any limitations. That's what I love. I love that. And if I only get like one comment a year or something like that, but I'll still take that regardless. One comment, that's good, much better than no comments at all. That's the way I look at it. Well, I do appreciate that there. I mean, I try my best to create that makes me happy. You don't want to just create and making other people happy, because then you're not going to be happy yourself. You have to remember you're creating for yourself. People loving what you create, that's second nature. That should be second place when you're creating content. Not first, but second, Yeah, I do. I know. I do have to restart. I am going to be posting stuff on Twitter and Blue Sky here, hopefully by the end of next week, because I've been wanting to post stuff. Not to mention, I still got those videos I got to upload. Jeez, I still got all this other stuff I got to do yet and whatnot. So yeah, and also yeah, I know I need to open up my Discord server. The only reason I've not opened up the Discord server yet. I need to get the right bots and security in place, because I don't want to do what I dealt with last time, and that was somebody who was just, being very stupid in there, and I had to kick them out, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm closing up the Discord until further notice, until I can get the correct bots in place, because I'm not always available, obviously, so I don't want anybody cutting a fool and not doing anything, and then moderators may not be able to be there too at the same time. So I want to make sure that, okay, if something's going down and I don't have my phone or have access to Discord at any time I want, to be able to handle that. And I get tired of the drama, man. I'm like, yeah, please just act right. If you're gonna come up into this mug, just follow the rules. Don't act like a fool. Don't act stupid. Don't act like you own the place. Just if you want to do that, open up your own freaking Discord. Don't come up with my Discord and acting stupid, please. But again, this is the internet age. People do whatever they want to do because, I can do whatever I want to do because it's it's a free, the internet is free and all this stuff. I'm like, no, you still need to be respectful. That's why I try to make sure I don't abuse anything, especially on Discord or anything like that, because I try not to bother people. That's something about me that I still do to this very day. I try my best to make sure I don't even randomly message people anymore, because I'm always thinking I'm interrupting people when it comes to their stuff. Now, yeah, I know I message people personally with the links to my live streams, which I might end up stopping just because I don't know if people are that busy, or they might be getting tired of me doing this, because I've been doing this for 4 years. I'm like, I better stop doing that, and when I post anything on social media or various things, people can obviously follow me when I post things there, rather than just constantly, oh, here's the link, here's the link, here's the link. I gotta be careful of that. So and yet again, I get it. A lot of the stuff that I do create, I mean, obviously the Sonic designs are there. I just kind of created my own designs based upon the Sonic the Hedgehog designs, because obviously Sonic is a big major influence for all of the stuff I've ever created and things of that nature. So I do apologize if it looks odd and different and things of that nature, but that is my style and such like that. Oh geez, man. Yeah, see, that's another thing. It says I gotta be careful, because I don't want people just that's why I don't do like full-fledged like links, like full access links, because that's what got me in trouble the last time. I'm like, I don't want to do anything stupid to get my Discord server, because some people, I've heard the horror stories where some random person finds this person's Discord, and they start posting illegal content, quotation marks, in their Discord server to get it shut down and get people put in jail and all this stuff. It's like, well, firstly, what are you doing with that content anyway? I'm like, shouldn't you be the one be going to jail for posting this stuff to begin with? It's like, I've heard the horror stories, and that's like, okay, you obviously can't trust everybody on the internet, obviously, but it's still just the fact that those kind of things happen. And I'm like, I don't want anything happening to anybody based upon what I allowed, because people have a way of flipping a strip on you very easily, or making it sound like they're the victim when they're the ones who caused the issues to begin with. And I've been in those situations enough times to know, okay, you're playing the victim while trying to make me look like the bad guy. That don't work like that. But anyways, sorry, I'm sitting here just reminiscing and just going on about nothing yet again, but that's just what I do. And I do appreciate that, Cool Catch, because I know I don't do a lot of like super graphic stuff like a lot of other people do and whatnot. I mean, to me, I get tired of seeing all the graphic stuff all the time, and like that's why I try to create things to at least let your imaginations kind of take over. That's probably one of the big key points of me being an artist. I like to create just enough action without it going too in depth. Like, anybody can create that stuff, and it works for them. But it takes somebody to actually create something that's going to make your imagination soar, without it actually being vulgar. And again, I'll leave that up to you guys to interpretate. Yeah, and that's another thing too, account security and all that stuff, man. I tell you. Because I actually had to help my friend recover their Steam account after it got stolen one time. And I'm like, yeah, that's just... I can't stay... What? One thing I can definitely say, I do enjoy seeing scammers and hackers getting theirs. That's why I always watch like those scam bait videos. I love seeing those scammers cry and like, please give me back my account, sir. I need my account back. Please give it back to me. I need it back. I'll pay for you. I pay for it. Like, no, jerk. You tried stealing money from people. You tried stealing accounts from people. You think you deserve your crap back? No. So I'm like, yeah, like that stuff's actually good to watch, because at least it's not like the cops like destroying, like actually like doing something in terms of violence against somebody. It's just making people suffer for not being able to use their computers because they were doing something stupid with their computers to begin with. So watching scam baiter stuff or whatnot, anytime that I can get back at a scammer and stuff like that, or at least bring awareness to a scammer and stuff like that, I'll do it, because that's part of my tech. That's the tech inside of me. I'm like, no, I don't want nobody, jacking somebody else's stuff up because, they're too lazy to go get themselves a job, and they want to steal from other people because they're just that freaking lazy. Like, anytime I can do that, I will do it. I will call out any scam. I will say, hey, look, because there's one time it was funny. Somebody did take over a Discord, somebody's Discord, and they sent me a message and stuff like that. I was like, okay, scammer. I actually messed with him. I messed with him about 30 minutes. I was like, okay, scammer, I'm just playing with you. No, I'm not going to do that to you. Please take off. Please, I've already reported you to Discord and everything like that. He erased everything he messaged me with and disappeared. I'm like, yeah, who do you think you messing with? Charlie Brown? it's all right. Hey, and you know, the thing with content creation, you know, everybody has their limits and stuff like that. You know, I mean, obviously I've seen my fair share of very vulgar stuff that I can't obviously talk about here. But, you know, everybody has their limits and stuff like that, you know, and I'll never judge anybody for, you know, liking certain things and things of that nature, because I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to judge people based upon what they like, what they don't like, and all that stuff, because we all have options. We all have, you know, we all have choices and things of that nature. And as such, I believe everybody can do whatever you want to do, as long as it's not, you know, as long as it's not illegal. You know, and I've told people this, I don't know how many times before, but these are my 3 philosophies for life, for living life, you know. And I think they're simple. It's simple, simplified, and it just works, you know. If you are not doing anything life detrimentally, meaning that whatever you decide to do, say, speak, commit yourself to, or anything like that, as long as it does not life detrimentally damage somebody or yourself physically, mentally, or financially, for the love of God, do what you want to do in life, because life is too short. I've seen, if this year alone does not give a wake-up call to like enjoying your life, that's what you have to do. You know, as long as you're not doing anything to damage yourself or others in a way that's going to potentially take their lives or your life, please do what you want to do with your life, because if you don't do it, you're not going to ever get another shot at it. You know, if you've got the opportunity and it's not going to do anything life detrimentally to you or to somebody else, for God's sakes, do it. You know, take a chance. If you've got a chance and it doesn't do anything of that nature, take it, because you might end up regretting it. You know, I've heard the horror stories of people like, well, I just was too scared and I didn't want to do it, and it turns out I missed out on the greatest opportunity ever and such like that. So my thing is like, just have fun with life, you know. Make sure you, as they say, keep your nose clean. That's all you gotta do. Keep your nose clean, you know, do the right thing. Always do the right thing. Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things, especially now, because we could be so mean and nasty to others because of just how jerkish they can be. But sometimes you just have to be, you know, looking at life half glass full, not half empty, but half full. You know, you have to look at some kind of good sides to life, because if you don't, you get scared and you're not going to be able to, you know, do what you like to do in life. You know, you always have to look at some type of positivity. Positivity is very powerful, and a lot of people don't get that nowadays. Positivity is something that I think a lot of people need nowadays, whether it be through influence or being, you know, or literally getting some type of influence from another person. You know, doesn't necessarily have to come from the TV, doesn't have to come from even a book. It could come from your best friend. It could come from somebody, a stranger. It could come from any direction. And we have to kind of like look at positivity as a strength rather than a weakness. And that's something that I try to instill you cool cats in, because I tell you cool cats all the time, look, y'all could do this crap better than I can. I have that much confidence in a lot of you. Almost all, if anything, all of you could do what I do much better and be much more successful at it, because I'm just somebody who's just doing this for the fun and having fun doing it. You know, my goal is to make sure that I'm having fun, but to make sure that you cool cats are enjoying it and having fun too. And I'm sure some of you could do a far greater job than I'm doing now, you know. And that goes through anything, any type of content creation. Everybody has the ability of doing things far better than I can do. And I always tell people, don't look at me as the pinnacle. My pinnacle is like it's at valley level. It's not even to the plateau. It's not even to the top of the hill yet. I'm still trying to get there myself. And I see people that could potentially go not to just the plateau, but to the top of the mountain and stay at the top of the mountain for years. You know, I truly believe a lot of you have that ability of basically outdoing me at any field of content creation and stuff like that, you know. But you have to have the drive to do it. You know, if you're creating something and you like creating it, keep creating it, keep getting better, keep improving. One thing I do have to tell people a lot of times, and I truly mean this, is you have to continue to keep improving. And it doesn't have to necessarily mean improving just, yourself in terms of content creation, what you create or what you accomplish. It could be as simple as learning a brand new word once a day, expand your vocabulary. The easiest thing anybody can do is expand their vocabulary. Dictionary, easiest thing to pick up and just, just turn to page 250 and just see what new word you've never used before in that book, Something, little things like that help improve you and to let you know, hey, I can learn more. Never stop learning. If that is one thing that you're going to take away probably from this conversation tonight alone, I want you all to know that you don't stop learning. Never stop learning. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep doing what it takes to keep yourself going. Because if you stop improving, if you stop listening to those who are here to, give some type of, lesson, wisdom to you, you'll never grow. You'll never get any better. Your goal in life should always be to improve and to learn. Never stop learning, never stop improving. Continue to keep doing it in any facet of life. It doesn't matter what you do in your career or even just living normally, find different ways like sometimes go off the beaten path. Say for instance you go to work going the same exact route. Take another route just in case, maybe one day that route gets destroyed or knocked out or gets closed. You have to find another route. Well, if that road closes, I know another route I can go without having to try to oh God, I'm stuck in traffic. I can't get around and all this stuff. Find something brand new like that, something. It's the littlest things that can really make a big difference in your lives. And I continue to keep doing this constantly, every single day, learning about something brand new. It keeps your mind focused and it keeps your mind flushed, meaning that, your mind doesn't become harder to think or to create ideas or even get answers. The more you study, the more you keep doing things, the fresher your mind is, and it doesn't become as difficult to think of an answer, think of something that, creative. There's all kinds of crazy things that happen in today's world that can get us thrown off of, what we do constantly. And sometimes just taking a little bit of something brand new, something that you've never done before. I mean, even I go as far as, doing the whole slice of life thing. It's trying something brand new. And when I mean that, by eating something brand new, I'm like, you know what? I never tried this food before. Let me try it out and see what it tastes like. What was it? The other day, what was it? I tried something brand new for the first time. And it wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. It wasn't something I'm not going to probably ever eat again just right away. But it did give me something to look forward to. Okay, I mean, I've tried this. Maybe, I could try something else from this place again and see what it tastes like. Because there's all kinds of different variations to foods and stuff like that. Somebody could create the same dish but do it differently, and trying that out, see what it tastes like. So, but I hope truly, I know this sounds like I'm just prattling on and stuff like that, but hopefully, what I'm saying tonight does at least encourage you, or at least give you some type of positivity to understand that, okay, I can do something new, I can do something different, I can do something brand new, and not feel like I'm punishing myself or being punished for trying something brand new. Because again, if you don't try, you don't get anywhere. Greatest thing you can fail at is not trying something at all. If you don't try it, you don't get anywhere. Sometimes I get it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm like that too sometimes. I can't stand it when somebody tells me no, because that means, okay, I can't do it. It's it's impossible, or like when you're asked for help and somebody says no, that's the worst thing anybody can do is say no. Well, that means that it's not through that person, some other way it'll come through another venue, another route, another way, or something like that. So sometimes just taking a chance. Yeah, the worst thing anybody could ever do is say no. That's the way I look at it. Well, within reason. You know, there are worse things people can do to you, but when it comes to just, you know, basic run-of-the-mill answering questions, asking things, getting something solved, you know, that's the worst thing that could ever happen. And sometimes just taking that little bit of a chance, really. That's what life really is truly about, I think. It's just trying something and taking a chance at it, you know. A lot of people don't want to try because they feel a failing, you know. God knows, take it from me, Cool Cats. It took me years to kind of get the gumption of doing what I'm doing now. Because I felt like I was going to fail. I felt like I was not going to get anywhere or meet people. But then I remembered my goal. My goal isn't to make money through this. That comes as the result of firstly keeping things focused on you Cool Cats, you know, making sure that I'm also having fun, but making sure the content that I create is making others happy too. Not just me, but also making sure that I'm, you know, doing it for others and such like that, you know. And my goal is not to make money out of anything. My goal is to make sure that you Cool Cats, when you leave out of this live stream, you're happy. You feel a little bit more lighter than you did when you first come in. And that's all it comes down to, is just, you know, making sure that I'm making others happy rather than making others miserable, because anybody can make anybody else miserable. It's very we feed off of negative energy so much. It's hard to actually find positivity because we're so used to, just as humans, getting filled with negativity. If we see that, and then we can blame the media for that. I'll blame the media on that one. We get filled with so much of garbage and just hatefulness. It's so easy to go in that direction. And we need to find positivity. We need to find happiness. And it starts from just, you know, having a mindset of a different thought. You know, it's like, okay, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be angry. I want to have fun. You know, I want to be happy. And sometimes that's the first step. And then trying it. Like, just try it. Just try, you know. Remember, and sometimes just remembering something to get you going. Like, you know, what was the thing that inspired you to create artwork? What was the thing that inspired you to play this video game? You know, sometimes you have to go back into the vault of your mind and remember, oh, this is why I got into this, you know? Something like that, you know? Oh, nice. And see, again, cool. Once again, all you Cool Cats trying something new. Like, I love catfish. God knows I love me some catfish. I love that stuff. Catfish and hush puppies. I love I love that. I love that stuff. And see, I like trying it in different fashions, you know. Like, what was it? The other day I went to Texas Roadhouse, and, you know, I usually would get the one food item, but instead I got the chicken and ribs. And whew, man, that was good. That was so good. I'm like, okay, chicken and ribs. I love the chicken and ribs. And then I tried the cheesecake. I paid for it. And I'm not going to get into details how I paid for it. And I'm not talking about finances either, but I certainly paid for it. But it was good. That was really good. And see, actually, that's another thing. I'm a cheesecake person. I love cheesecake. And I blame that partially on my cousin, because she makes really good cheesecakes. Because I got a sweet tooth, but I don't actually do candy. I don't do like candy bars and stuff like that. Like, I do ice cream. I do like the Slurpees, slushies, you know, ice related kind of like foods. I'm cool with. Pardon the pun. But again, I don't know why I keep jumping ship and talking about all this crazy stuff. Maybe I just needed to talk and kind of get things off my mind, because, you know, when you've dealt with the stuff that I've had to deal with over the past month, you know, I'm just thankful that I can come online and just still be myself and kind of just, you know, chat to you Cool Cats the way I do. And I appreciate you all just giving me an ear, just being able to, you know, be myself, talk about stupid stuff. Well, maybe not stupid stuff, but just talking about things that may not add up to anything. Like that dog from Looney Tunes. It just don't add up. But just being able to be myself, these are things that I really truly appreciate, you know. And yeah, and again, as I stated, Cool Cats, try, just get out there and try. You don't have to try hard. Please don't be a try hard. Please don't. But just get out there and try something. If something was in the back of your mind, I'm like, you know what? I never thought about that. I never tried, this particular thing I've been wanting to try. Just give it a, just try it. Just give it a little thought. See if it works for you. Because you never know. Yeah, you never know where you might go. Oh, so we saw some mustard. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. And that's another thing too. For those who are struggling, I'll put it to you this way. This is the way that I kind of got established. And the way I got established is by creating the content that I wanted to create first. I created artwork. I posted it on DeviantArt for Affinity. But then what really helped out was when I opened my Twitter account, back when Twitter was actually, was Twitter actually ever good? But when I opened my Twitter account and I started posting stuff from there, eventually I just started getting people following me and enjoying the stuff that I like. And then eventually I started the YouTube channel, and I made sure to link my YouTube, links to various, live streams and stuff like that. So anytime I had anything going on, I made sure to link my Fur Affinity, my DeviantArt, and my Twitter account to YouTube, so that way it helped spread things along. And I didn't pay for anything. I didn't pay people to, sign up or anything like that, or, do all those views and stuff like that. Nope. I had not put a single cent towards YouTube to get my name spread around. All this came from is just putting my name out there with the content that I was creating. So sometimes just, starting someplace, and it's not a thing of where you're just doing it sporadically. You have to do it constantly. That's how it worked for me. Now, yes, I haven't been posting sporadically I've not been posting as regularly as I wanted to due to my job situation. But hopefully now I can do that and do much more and things of that nature. So yeah. So yep. And getting close to. Holy crap! I've been talking for almost over 2 hours. Holy crap! It wasn't my idea to talk about nothing tonight, but apparently I just needed to talk to you cool cats and get some stuff off my shoulders, and well, I just appreciate that. And no problem there, Claus. I hope you have a very good night, so please get yourself some much needed rest, take care of yourself, and I will catch you on fire later, okay, buddy? Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. Well, sounds like you had a night, that's for dang sure. I see it. One day I would like to try D&D maybe one day. Yet again, that's something I'd like to try, Like, I was never into, obviously outside of the video games themselves, but I never was into D&D and things of that nature, but I know my friends like playing it. I know so many other people like trying it and stuff like that. I'm like, well, maybe it's a possibility, I'd like to try something like that, because I know obviously it's much more better with a group of people and stuff like that. So, but hey, there are those things out there, and again, something I could look forward to trying out one day, sooner than later. But but hopefully it does. Once again, something I'd like to try. So hopefully it might inspire you guys to try something else and things of that nature. And, oh, no problem there. Hey, no problem at all there, JJKK. I hope you have a very good night. So I hope you take care of yourself. Get yourself some much needed rest, and I will catch you on fire later. Yeah, please. Okay, I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, cool cats. Please, for the love of God, do not ever take me to a casino with you. I've told you this before, and I'm going to reiterate it to you. Do not take me to a casino, because you're going to lose all your money with me. My luck when it comes to game of chance, any type of, I feel the only game that I've ever had good luck with is Battle Network. That is like literally the only game that I've ever seen myself to have such good luck. Anything else, bump it. That ain't gonna happen. Listen, if I hadn't won any jackpots or anything like that from any game of chance. I mean, look, I tried playing, like, what was it, the other week when I live streamed Phantasy Star. I went to the casino and lost all my money, gambling and stuff like that. Like, yeah, don't take me to a casino, please. You're going to come out much less You're going to come out much less richer than you were when you first started. And I'll put it to you that way. Oh, no problem there, buddy. Hey, this is just the start of Gold Summer. We still got all summer long, so it's not a big deal. I told everybody, look, if Golden Summer is just starting. It's literally just starting, so it's not like you missed anything major. You just, yeah, just to be frank about it, it's been a testing run tonight just to see what worked and things of that nature. So yeah. Oh, see, there you go, buddy. See. I'll be honest, my first convention I went to was Otakon, my very first convention. I actually dressed as a cosplay, well, because I was like, okay, I'm going to a convention. This is my first ever convention I'm going to with a bunch of friends and stuff like that. Of all characters I decided to cosplay as, I didn't go as Naruto at the time, I didn't go as Sasuke, I didn't go with any mainstream anime character, because I was like, everybody's going to be bland, everybody's going to be those characters there, right? I went as Lan Hikari from Mega Man Battle Network. Yes, I actually dressed up as Lan Hikari from my very first Otakon trip, and then a couple more Otakon trips I went as Lan Hikari. But now my new outfit, for those who have at least followed me on Twitter and things of that nature, when I posted it last year? It was last year when I did my Cyberpunk or techwear style outfit, which this year, hopefully, I'm still waiting for the parts to get here. I've got a brand new outfit coming, so I hope that you cool cats will like that. But to be honest with you there, buddy, please go to a convention. You don't necessarily have to dress you don't have to cosplay, you don't have to do anything. Just go there and just make sure you have fun, but make sure you go to a convention that you're going to like. Make sure you're looking at, panels. Make sure that you are going to a convention that you're going to like, you're going to really enjoy and such like that. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Otakon was my first convention, and it's been my convention that I feel comfortable going to because I see so many amazing people. I see so many amazing costumes. And Otakon, to me, obviously, it's because I'm on the East Coast. It's much more easier to get to that convention versus trying to go to Comic-Con. But probably the best, if you ever want to go to Comic-Con, I would say don't overwhelm yourself first. Just go to a small convention first. If you go to a small convention and stuff like that, that'll help warm you up for the bigger conventions. Oh, nice. Huh, nice, John Wick. Now that's cool. Yeah, ooh, okay, buddy. Well, there you go. If you've got the chance and if you've got the finances and stuff like that, by all means, go ahead and try it out. Give it a shot. You never know. You might fall in love with it. But again, just make sure it works out for you, All I can say is make sure you get your hotel squared away and stuff like that. Make sure you've got plenty of finances for food and stuff like that. Make sure you've got your badge if they require badges and stuff like that. Just make sure you go through the etiquette and everything like that. Might seem overwhelming at first, but once you do it a couple times, you'll become a natural. Trust me. Might only take like 2 or 3 times for you to get used to it. So, but I think you'll like it. I think you'll enjoy it as long as it's a convention that you like. Make sure that the content is what you like as far as the convention goes. But I wish you luck with that, buddy, and I hope that you do get to go to a convention and enjoy it. Like I said, you don't want to go to a convention and not enjoy it. Big difference. 'Cause trust me, I'm a veteran now going to conventions, and conventions have always been cool, always been fun, and trust me, it's not even about me going to the convention to beat the crap out of people in video games or buying crazy things at the artist alley. It's actually getting pictures. Last year when I went to Otakon, I was dressed up in my cyberpunk / techwear style design. The coolest interaction I've ever had happened, and this didn't happen when I was in karate helping kids out and stuff like that. No, this random little, like, I would say no bigger than probably 6 years old, this little guy came up to me. He's like, "Mister, can I get your picture? Can you take a picture with me?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes." I gave him a thumbs up, and I knelt beside him with my sword. My sword was glowing and stuff like that, and his mom took a picture. He's like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir." I was like, "Yeah, that's no problem," giving him thumbs up and everything like that. He's like, your outfit is so cool." I was like, I didn't think my outfit was that cool, but if it was enough to impress a 6-year-old at least, I would say it was in the right direction. And just seeing that little kid, just full of happiness and joy, I was like, wow, that was worth it alone. Didn't matter what I did in the game room, didn't matter what other pictures I took with, didn't matter about anything else. It was just that moment when I was with this little kid and he wanted to take my picture, and we took pictures and posed together. Mother took the pictures. That was the cream of the crop, and it still will be like my best memory of Otakon. Yeah, winning that second place trophy definitely is no slouch either, but being able to interact with another kid in that direction allowed me to, like, wow, this is like something where I'm actually interacting with other people and they actually are liking what I've created and stuff like that. And it was that really cool experience. And I hope I have more experiences like that. It's like getting your picture taken from something that you created. That's like that's a totally blissful moment. I'm like, man, I never thought I would get my pictures taken randomly from people who really like what I've created and stuff like that. So that was my moment last year, and I'm hoping this year I make many more moments like that. I hope more people take my picture and stuff like that, because I never thought it would be that interesting, but it definitely was. And I'm just happy to have made somebody else happy through my antics, essentially, even though they weren't crazy antics, but they were antics regardless. So but that's what I like about life. You never know what life throws at you, but sometimes you just have to be ready to answer the call. If it's a little kid who's looking up to somebody who they don't know jack from and wanting to get your picture, oh my gosh, that's oh, is this what these like people feel like when they meet Mickey Mouse in person at Disneyland or something like that for the first time? But maybe not on that that grand of a scale, but definitely freaking close. I can definitely tell you that. But yep. So regardless there, buddy, I hope you enjoy that. If you get a chance to go, please go. Please enjoy yourself, and I hope you have some good fun and make some good memories too. But anyway, cool cats, my gosh, I have literally talked to you all for hours. And something, I enjoy these little chats. I know I haven't done it in a while. God knows I have not done a chat like this in quite some time. I know I usually end up ending the stream early or ending the stream right after I get done, beating the crap out of people. But really, because I don't have to deal with that dumb job no more, and having to okay, I gotta get some sleep, I gotta get some rest, because I gotta get ready to go to work and deal with all that other stuff. I've not had to deal with this, and I'm like, okay, this is literally the first time in months that I've been actually to sit here for hours and just chat to you cool cats about nothing. Not playing no games, not that I would play games regardless. I mean, obviously I'm gonna play games, but it's just the fact of being able to sit here, chat, be myself. And yeah, introduction of Golden Summer, obviously, but Golden Summer aside, being able to sit here, still doing what I'm doing and enjoying this time of just chatting with you amazing, incredible fans, you cool cats who have followed me for so many years, and just enjoying the content that I create. thank you from the bottom of my heart that you all have been here for so long and enjoying this whatever you want to call crazy part of my life, being able to do this. And I as I've stated, I hope I can continue to keep improving. I don't want to just stop here. I want to continue to keep improving where I can and giving you cool cats even more content to look forward to. Not just, not just always games, not just always the chats, but I know these are strong parts of my live streams, but I want to continue to keep improving, giving you cool cats times to interact with me. In fact, I would still love to do, I might do that sometime or another in the near future. I'd love to do an actual Second Life get together, like an actual meet and greet on Second Life one day. So if you cool cats just create like a Second Life account, which is free, you just have to make sure that you're you're registered old enough to come and meet me in certain areas and stuff like that. But to virtually meet and greet you cool cats on Second Life, or whenever I get my VR thing going on and doing the meet and greet in VR and stuff like that. Hopefully one day we can do that very soon. So that'll be like the next big step for me, is doing that. So, but again, so much to look forward to. There's so much to look forward to. So many different things I'd like to do. So many different cooler, wonderful things I would love to be able to do in the near future. So hopefully you all will be able to interact with me in a much more, awesome way and things of that nature. Not just from chat, but literally being able to actually play something on VR chat or something like that, So, but again, this is something I'm looking forward to, and once I have the finances and the abilities of doing so, I'm going to do it. And again, it's something that's going to take time, take some effort, but it'll be worth it in the end, just to make myself happy, but also hopefully making you all happy as well. So, but thank you, cool cats, so much. So again, I don't think I could talk. I know I could talk more, but I gotta start wrapping up, because even I need my sleeps. But I do thank you all once again so much. Thank you everybody so much for just the outpouring of support. Thank you all so much for being here and just enjoying this time, being able just to chat and show off cool things, show off all these cool new animations and stuff like that. I'm so thankful for that, and I'll be able to show these animations and stuff like that, obviously, because Golden Summer is going on all summer long. And who knows, I might throw in an additional day, maybe. We'll see. But once again, thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for joining in. Hopefully I will catch you cool cats on Tuesday, if not Wednesday, and if not, hopefully maybe this upcoming Saturday, since it's now officially Sunday now. So with all of that said, thank you all so much for allowing me just to chat, be myself, and be able to hang out with all of you. I really, truly greatly appreciate it. And by all means, I hope you all have a positive, great upcoming week. I hope everything goes well for your weeks. Please get much needed rest. Please take care of yourselves. Laugh a little. If you gotta cry a little. But do whatever it takes to just make yourselves happy and stay positive in this crazy world we call, or this crazy time we call life, I should say. And once again, thank you all so much. So go get yourself some sleep. Go get yourself some rest. Thank you once again. Golden Summer is going to continue to keep going on strong. And I hope you all have a great, wonderful night. And please take care of yourselves, all right? So, thank you all once again. And I'll catch you all on fire later.